I have a question. What
Mm.
is your definition of evil?
Huh. That's a good question, Mama. That's a pretty good question. That can be a tough one. I'm going to give you a worldly definition, and I'm also going to give you a biblical definition. Okay? When I
Okay.
say a worldly definition, is because when we make when we defy nature, something goes. When we go against nature, something happens to us. Right? There is a repercussion when we defy nature, or when we defy gravity, or when we go against uh, you know uh, when you try when you defy when you go against the sun per se, there is repercussions when you go against nature. So anything that is against that is in contradiction to the laws and order of the Father of the universe, the galaxy, nature, when you go against that order, that is evil. You're being evil. And biblically, anyone that goes against God's precepts, commandments is evil. Okay? Does that answer your question?
That's very good.
Mm.
And it's broad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we put it in such a narrow space
Mm-hmm.
that we leave out a lot of the importance of walking uprightly before Baba Mungo.
Mm. Yeah, and this can be you can prove we can prove it. If you go to a bridge or a mountain, a high mountain, and you jump off the cliff, and the laws of gravity is if you jump, you're gonna fall and you're gonna hurt yourself or die. So
Absolutely.
there's just certain things that you have to be obedient of. So if you go against these uh, natural laws, there's going to be repercussions. Okay, so we are a people that have to be obedient. But hold off 1 second, Mo. Hold on 1 second. Welcome, family. Welcome, family. Welcome to Mind Theorist, episode 005. And the title today, family, is The Seed of Creation versus the Seed of Destruction. This is your brother Silverback, KONGO, and
This is Mother Bantu. Welcome, everyone.
welcome, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very exciting, right, Mama?
I think it's going to be a very exciting afternoon together.
Yes, excellent, excellent, excellent. Today we're going to play a game, family. Today we're going to play a game. But before we begin this game, I want to remind you, family, for those of you who are viewers, please, if this is your first time, subscribe to the channel and also click the like button and also comment. Okay, now today the comment function is going to be very, very important because we're playing a game. We want to be interactive. We want you to participate so that we can have a great engagement as a group. Okay? And last but not least, share this video with others. Okay? Share this Narrowcast so that others can learn about our platform. Now, Mama, today we're going to play an interesting game. But before we play the interesting game, the quote of the day, it's a pretty, very straightforward. Okay, I'm going to give everyone a visual. Okay. Whoa. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, family. That was a technical issue there. But the quote of the day. The quote of the day is black, okay, by popular demand. It's supposed to be back by popular demand, but it's really black. A very, very nice, beautiful mug. Look at that sister. Look at that sister. What a beautiful sister, isn't she? Huh? Black by popular demand. Okay.
And we are very popular right now.
Yes, we
So
are.
that's apropos.
All right, so family, go ahead and get yourself a beautiful mug with a sister on it. All right, and support the Narrowcast. It's that simple. Okay, pretty simple. Not nothing sophisticated, but you know, nice, simple. I guess no, I would say it's sophisticated. It's beautiful. All right, so.
I think it's lovely. I would be proud to have that on my desk.
Excellent.
Or give it as a gift.
Yes. Very, very true. Very, very true. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
In fact,
it's beautiful.
It's impossible for black to be not beautiful. Think about it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everything comes from darkness. All colors come from darkness.
Everything comes from darkness. Everything comes from the melanated man, woman, and child.
Yeah. So anyone that hates blackness or black people, they really hate themselves. You can't, we are the parents of this earth.
Planet.
Okay? Of this planet, yes. Yeah. So, whoa, Mama, there's a little background noise there that I don't know what it is, but sharp. I don't know if that's your mic that's doing that, but
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, hopefully does not translate to the recording. But family. This recording today, this topic, it's going to help you. It's a game that helps you, okay, helps you to see if your third eye is open, if you are insightful, if you are spiritually inclined to see things in advance, okay? Having spiritual perception, it means that you can foresee things. And this game here is going to help you to see if you're able to detect a person of good character or a person of wicked character. So the job here would be for you to be able to identify. So let me ask you, Mama, what is good?
I believe good, of course, is God. Mm-hmm. And I believe we as his children, we should aspire to be like him. So I think that Baba Mungu puts good inside of us so that we automatically know when we're doing good, when we're doing evil. So good is holy, good is pure, good is kind, he's kind, good is goodness. So the more you spend time with him, our Baba, the more you want to be like him. So good is righteous and justice. So what is righteous? Righteous is in right standing with him. That means you're cleansing yourself every day. You're cleansing your thoughts. You're cleansing your ways. If you make a mistake, you cleanse it and correct it right away. Because Baba Mungu does not require us to be perfect. No one is perfect but him. But he does require us to be holy because he is holy. So that's my definition of righteous and
Beautiful.
good.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, family, are you the seed of creation or the seed of destruction? Which one are you? How can you identify that? How can you identify if someone is a seed of creation or a seed of destruction? Because among us as a people, there are people who are seeds of creation and there are people of seeds of destruction, even in your own family.
It's so true.
Even in your own family. So don't think everybody's good and is a good seed in your household. Okay? Even with your children, there are those who are going to be seeds of creation or seeds of destruction. Okay?
Absolutely.
Can you identify someone, whether they're a good seed or a bad seed? Because, they will say, "Don't judge me." People would say, "Don't judge me," right? They say, "Who are you to say
Yes, all the time.
Exactly. Who are you to judge? Don't judge me, but your actions, the things that you produce, are they good? Are you producing goodness or are you producing destruction? Right? Because our works judge us. We're judged by the things that we do. Okay? We were judged by the things that we do. So today's game, family, it's a very, very simple game. It's an introduction to the game that we will be playing in coming months. But we want to give you a preview of how this game is going to be played. Okay? The goal of this game is very, very simple. Can you identify either one of us? One of us is a seed of creation, and one of us is a seed of destruction. So we both going to read 3 passages from the scriptures, from the Bible, and based on those passages, you should be able to determine, based on your third eye, okay, based on your third eye, you should be able to determine which one of us is a seed of creation and which one of us is a seed of destruction.
Yes.
So, but before we go ahead within the passages, we want to give you an article. I want to read an article.
Yes.
That that can prepare, that would give you an idea of what we're talking about. Okay. I'm not sure if you guys are. Do you know of the Pew Research Center, Mama?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a national research center where they do a lot of statistics. They conduct research and they give you the studies of the outcome.
And they have a broad spectrum of research.
Exactly. Yes. So let me go ahead. Let me read this article. Family, give me a second. Let's go to that scene. Okay, let's get to that. The Pew Research Center. Christians, religiously unaffiliated, differ on whether most things in society can be divided into good, evil. Okay? And it goes on to say many major religions have teachings about good and evil in the world. For example, the Abrahamic traditions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam use concepts such as God and the devil or heaven and hell to illustrate this dichotomy. Excuse me. It may be somewhat unsurprising then that highly religious Americans are much more likely to see society in those terms, while non-religious people tend to see more ambiguity.
Ambiguity, yeah.
Ambiguity, okay?
Yes.
According to a recent Pew Research Center survey, overall, about half of US adults, 48%, say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil, while the other half, 50%, say that most things in society are too complicated to be categorized this way. However, there are stark differences in opinion based on respondents' religious affiliation and how religious they are. For example, U.S. Christians are much more likely than religiously unaffiliated Americans to say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil. 54% versus 37%. Nearly 2/3 of white evangelical Protestants, 64% say
Protestant,
this.
you said it.
Protestants, right? Okay. 64% say this, as do 57% of Black Protestants. Members of these two groups also attend religious services and pray at higher rates than other U.S. adults. That's a good thing. By comparison, only around half of U.S. Catholics, 49%, and white Protestants who do not identify as evangelical, 47%, say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil. Interesting, right, Mama? Among those who identify their religion as nothing in particular, wow, nothing in particular. You see that? 43% say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil. But far fewer atheists, 22%, and agnostics, 29%, say the same. Combined, these three groups make up the nation's religiously unaffiliated population, also known as religious nuns. Overall, a majority of these unaffiliated Americans, 62%, say most things in society are too complicated to be divided into good and evil. So what are they using as a standard of measurement? Did you see that, Mama? Let me continue. I think Mama fell off. Due to sample size limitations, this analysis does not include some smaller religious groups who were asked this question, such as Jewish and Muslim Americans. Are you following this, Mama? Did you fall off?
Yes, yes. What I did say is I think because religion has never been truly defined, because we have so many differences and so many churches and so many institutions, and everyone is fighting against a standard that no one has really defined. because people have gotten away from defining it the way God himself defined it. Mankind has veered away. So that's where all the confusion comes from, because there's no concise difference between good and evil in most people's mind. They say, oh, everyone commits evil. This person is good, this person is bad. So there's no real definition according to God's standards on this planet about good and evil.
That's right. That's right. That is right. They make it broad. The fact that there are so many groups. If there are so many groups, it's going to be hard to come to a consensus, right? So
it's going to be a confusion.
Yeah, it's going to be confusion. So let me go ahead and continue to finish it off. It says, differences over whether most things in society can be divided into good and evil also are apparent when looking at various measures of religious observance. Yes, right? Observance. So culture also plays a factor, right? In this study.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So highly religious Americans, regardless of their religious affiliation, are more likely to see society in terms of good and evil. For instance, U.S. adults who say they attend religious services at least once a week or more likely than those who seldom or never attend services to give this response, 59% versus 42%. Okay? And there are similar patterns when it comes to the self-professed importance of religion in people's lives and their prayer habits. If you ask me, there's a lot of self-righteousness going on here, right?
Of course, of course, of course, because if you really think about it, no one knows, well, let's say very few people know the true and living God. They don't know him. They know of him. Mm-hmm. Someone can give me your name and I can read up on you a little bit, but I can know of you, but I don't know you. I haven't spent time with you. You haven't taught me anything about yourself. So a lot of people know of God, but they don't know him. Mm-hmm. And so that means they go through a bunch of rituals thinking they're impressing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You can be sincerely wrong. Sincerely,
Sincerely wrong, yes.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge.
Yeah. So let's continue here. Previous Pew Research Center survey have found that many highly religious people look to God as a marker of good and evil and say that it is necessary to believe in God in order to be a moral person. Okay? Even within religious groups, Democrats and Republicans have different attitudes about good and evil. Views about good and evil also vary by political party. Roughly 6 in 10 Republicans and independents who lean towards the Republican Party, 59% to be specific, say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil, compared with 38% of Democrats and Democratic leaners. So, personally, I think this is pretty accurate here, right? If you think about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You see it, right? Because liberals, they are very, very dangerous. Liberals are very, very dangerous. They like to confuse things,
Yes.
Even though, even though the Republican Party is not good either, but at least they have a pretty strict, allegedly strict stance when it comes down to things like abortion, these laws
Yes.
that are whether if a person is going and killing off their child, you need kill it. I firmly believe that you shouldn't abortion. It should be something that state should not be involved in this decision, because at the end of the day, if you are a very religious individual, you should know morally what is right in accordance to your faith, right? You should know what is right
Yes.
and what is wrong. But these parties are just that, parties, right? They're just parties, but these are individuals who hold.
Yes.
These are people who have certain moral standing in society. So we're going to look to individuals, not parties, individuals. But this whole article, I'm going to continue. I'm going to read a few more and then stop, because at the end of the day, you get the gist, right? What we're saying.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, we get the gist here. The gist here is that yes, good and evil, as you can see for yourself, is defined differently by people. There's so much division, so many quote unquote denominations of so many faiths, right? Where it gets a little murky to truly define what is good and what is evil. Even if you read the scriptures, there's going to be a contradictions.
Some confusion.
Yes. It's going to be contradictions doctrine-wise, So I'm going to read 2 more passages. Even within religious groups, Democrats and Republicans have different attitudes about good and evil. Views about good and evil also vary by political party. Roughly 6 in 10 Republicans and independents who lean towards the Republican Party, 59% to be specific, say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil, compared with 38% of Democrats and Democratic leaners. Religious groups differ from one another in their political makeup. For example, white evangelical Protestants are more likely to be Republicans, while atheists, agnostics, this word is good. Okay, tend to align with the Democratic Party. Still, party identification does not fully explain the religious differences described in this analysis. Within both parties, there are large differences across religious groups. For instance, Republican Christians are more likely than Republican nuns to say that most things in society can be clearly divided into good and evil. I think I'm reading this over, right? Am I reading this over?
I think they're repeating themselves.
They're repeating themselves. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, divided into good and evil, 63 versus 48%. Similarly, Democratic Christians are more likely than Democratic nuns to give that response, 43% versus 31%. The reverse pattern is also true. Religious differences do not entirely account for the political gaps in views of good and evil. This is evidenced by the fact that Catholic Republicans are more likely than Catholic Democrats to see clear distinctions between good and evil, 57% versus 42%, a pattern that also holds true among Protestants. So I'm going to stop there, family. Okay? And a clear chart here, as you can see, Republican /lean reps, Democrats versus leaned Democrats. As you can see, U.S. adults, Republicans 59% versus 38%. Okay, these are the people who differ. The U.S. adults who say that the most things in society can be pretty clearly divided into good and evil. So it's pretty clear. 59% of our Democrats believe that it's very, very clear you can distinguish good and evil, and 38% of Democrats says no, it's not possible. All right, and it says all Christians say 63%, Republicans, and 43%. Now this chart here says within the U.S. adults, okay, is giving you from the two parties, and and it says leans, right? And it just goes down and you know, analyze it for yourself. But what I would like to take away from this particular article here is that there is a division there's a division in society, okay? Even though this is a small, this is exclusively to US, but I know that it also applies through all the other nations, the other continents, right? Because that's just the way it is. There's going to be people there are people who don't see that there is a God until things get difficult, you know, then they start seeing God. But but when it comes down to clearly defining what is good and what is evil, people tend to lean towards the truest tradition and and culture. Culture plays a heavy role in how people perceive good and evil, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So family.
So people don't know God. They have a perception of him.
Exactly. That is true, Mama. Exactly. They have a perception. They have a perception that is influenced and that is influenced by their politics, culture, right, and society, and society overall. So, yes,
absolutely.
So they have this. So what does that mean? What does that mean when we say that okay, they are influenced by society, their own personal morals, right? But does it really comes from the Father? Are they seeking the Father to see whether things, whether righteousness, goodness is applicable in their life, or are they just going by the laws and culture, you know, the way society influences you in many ways. Well, put it this way: if you don't have a deeper relationship with the Father, if the Father is, if this spiritual experiences are of this world, then you'll be influenced by this world. But if it's of the spiritual world, then you'll be influenced by the spiritual world, right? It's kind of hard to explain this.
Absolutely. But you know, we as human beings, we're followers. We go with the flow, whatever the latest fad is. And I never knew anyone when I'm growing up, and I'm up in age and my children are grown, my grandchildren are grown, but I never knew anyone that truly sought God's advice, unless it was convenient for them. Mm-hmm. I never knew anyone that truly knew him. They knew about him. They knew about what they read in the Bible. They knew about what the pastors and the ministers told them, but they never really knew him. Mm-hmm. Personally knew him. And you know, that's what bothers me. Whenever there's a tragedy in the country, then everyone will flippantly say, I'm praying for you, when they never pray. Mm-hmm. Prayer is not even a part of their life, but the newscaster said, our prayers are with you. So what does that mean? Mm-hmm. What does that really mean now if you have no relationship with the Most High, and the only time you try to contact him or contact him is one, when it's convenient for you, or two, when there's a tragedy, and you think that's what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. So that always bothered me. Always bothered me.
Yes, yes. So family, going forward now, we're gonna read I'm gonna read to set the course, to set the game, to start the game off. I'm gonna read a scripture in Genesis that that will set the to set off the game. All right. Remember, the game is this very, very
Good.
simple. One of us is the seed of creation, and the other is the seed of destruction. So the goal here is for you to say whether Silverback is one or the other, and whether Mama is one or the other. So you would actually please go to the comment, and write right after we read our passages. Okay, we each gonna read each one of us gonna read a passage. Okay, and then we're gonna ask you which one do you think is the seed of the discussion based on the scriptures that we have selected. Okay, we've selected the scriptures. With the scriptures,
And I'm coming out of Jeremiah 1. I'm coming out of Jeremiah 1, verses 11 through 14.
Okay, so before you start, Mama, I'm going to read the Genesis to set off,
Yes,
to give them
absolutely.
to give them the idea as to why we're playing this game and how, just to get an idea as how this game is going to be played. Okay, family. So I'm going to read first. Okay, I need you to turn to Genesis chapter 3, verses 2 to 7. Okay, if you can write that down. Right, we're not going to show you. Just write down the passage, and you're going to read it at your own time. Okay, and you can stop this recording and just read it and meditate upon it. All right, but this particular scripture here is like an introduction to the game. I'm giving you an introduction to the game. Okay, Genesis chapter 3.
So that's chapter 3. Okay.
Chapter 3, verses 2 to 7. And it says,
Okay.
The woman said to the serpent, we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but Baba Mungu did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden. You must not touch it, or you will die. Sounds like a commandment to me, right, Mama?
Yes.
Right? Verses 4. You will not certainly die, the serpent said to the woman. Oh, that sounds like an objection to me, right, Mama? Right? It sounds like he is going, the serpent is confronting not the woman, but the father, right? You will certainly not die, the serpent said to the woman. For Baba Mungu knows that you will, for Baba Mungu knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like Baba Mungu, knowing good and evil. And is the game making sense, family?
I like it.
I hope it's making sense, right? When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye. That can mean a lot of things. There are many things.
Mango tree.
Mango tree is good for food and is also, but if the pleasing to the eye, it means something that. What does that mean? When something is pleasing to your eye?
You automatically want to have a relationship with it.
With it. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Okay.
Listen. Okay, let me clean it up a little bit. A chocolate cake is pleasing to my eyes, and I definitely want to have a relationship with a piece of chocolate cake.
Right. Yes, you see. Yes. But also now I want to make and I want you to analyze this, family, for a second. You notice that even though there are so many factions, there are so many, when we read that article, there were so many categories, right? Of this, that, of that, the Catholic, the Protestants, the this, the that, the Republican, the Democrat, all these divisions, all these factions, right? But when it comes down to your decision, there's only going to be good or evil. You notice that, right?
That's true.
Right? So there can be all kinds of category, but it still comes down to that. It comes down to two decisions, whether you're going to do or you're not going to do. Right? So when a woman saw that the fruit of this tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, you notice all this? Good for food, good for pleasing to the eye, desirable with wisdom, blah, blah, blah. She took some and ate. So in the beginning, Baba Mungu said two things you cannot do. He said you cannot do it or this would happen. Two things. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. Okay? Right? And it says she took some of it and ate. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves. Look at that, fig leaves, okay? The fig tree is very, very, very symbolic in the Bible. Very, very symbolic.
It's a staple. Yes, it's a very staple symbolic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tree in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. A very nutritious tree too. Okay.
My favorite.
Mm-hmm. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. So family, what do you perceive when you read this passage? What are you getting from this passage? Please write it in the comment section. Okay. So anything you want to add? Anything, Mama?
So the small thing that I took from this is even the serpent knew the laws of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Adam knew the laws. God gave them the laws. He gave Eve the laws, but the serpent and all animals did speak back in the day. In the beginning, he confused her by putting doubt in her. Sometimes we know that we're about to do something wrong, but then that doubt seed comes in. Well, if I do it quickly, or I can do it this time, or so the doubt is always there, one on one shoulder, one on the other shoulder, putting doubt in us, and we go along with what we can get out of the system. She started thinking about what she can get out of taking a bite of the fruit. So the pride of life, lust of the eyes.
Yeah. So basically, what's the difference? It's not like when it says you will not certainly die. You will not certainly die. So the devil lied. That's one. Two, she already had a desire in her heart about this particular, right? So
about this fruit.
Yeah, she had a desire. So nothing, he didn't bring nothing out of her. She had, whatever he brought out of her was already there.
Well, he's given us a will to choose.
Yes.
He doesn't override our will. He doesn't turn us into robots so we can automatically be obedient like a robot would be. We have a choice. Righteousness and evil, we have a choice. Which one we want to choose.
Yes. And what was certain here.
So once he gave us that law and gave us a will, he couldn't go against his law, nor could he go against our will.
That's right. So there's a few things to examine as well. It says, For God knows when you eat, verses 5. He says, for God knows when you eat, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, right? And you will be like God. Well, they were already like God. So again, the devil lied.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
They were already gods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you will be like God, knowing good and evil. All right. So there's a lot that we can draw away from this particular passage, but let the games begin.
Hmm.
All right, so Mama, you go ahead and read your first passage, and
Okay.
I may have a question or two, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm in the book of Jeremiah, reading from the NIV, and I'm in Jeremiah 1, starting at 11 and 14.
Okay.
So let me scroll down here to verse 11, and let me go over here real quick.
Jeremiah.
So Jeremiah chapter 1,
verses 11, huh?
starting at verse 11, and this is the almond tree.
Okay.
This is the parable of the almond tree. So I'm going to start at 11. And the word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see a branch of an almond tree, I replied. And Baba Mungo said to me, you have seen correctly. For I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. The word of the Lord came, the word of Baba Mungo came to me again. What do you see? I see a pot that is boiling. And I answered, it is tilting towards us from the north. And Baba Mungo said to me, from the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. So that's 1 through 14. I mean 11 through 14. And what I got out of this parable is we as gods, we see what he sees. Because when he asked Jeremiah, what did he see? Jeremiah answered correctly. And he asked him again, what did he see? And Jeremiah answered again correctly. So that was God and his child corresponding together. And in this parable, what I got out of it is that we know what he knows as gods. He's our father, but when we're close to him, we see what he sees. We say what he says. Like when Isaiah was here, he said, I do what I see my father do. I and my father are one. So within that relationship with Baba Mungu, we're one with him. And when you become one with him, you know right from wrong. You know evil from good.
Right.
That's what I got out of that parable. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, I have a question. So what is the verses 14 says, from the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land.
So it was a disaster was on its way. And he was telling him, because of what you see, the branch of the almond tree was doing a certain thing, and it was an omen of what was to happen, what was coming. So you and I talked about there's so many spiritual things happening around us that's giving us answers to the things to come. Right. Because we are one with the animals, we are one with nature. We are one. So we're not caught unaware when we walk step by step with him and commune with him. He will show us the disasters that's coming upon us, upon the land, to prepare us, to protect us, actually.
Ingata. So family, what do you based on what Mama Bantu just read, is she a seed of creation or is she a seed of destruction? What do you think? Comment in the comment section, please. Comment. So now I'm going to read a passage. Okay?
Okay.
All right. The passage I'm reading is from Matthew 13,
Okay.
verses 24 to 30.
Say it again.
Matthew 13,
Okay.
verses, well, actually, no. That's not the first one I'm going to read. The first one I'm going to read is, I'm sorry, folks. Sorry about that. Please forgive me. The first one I'm going to read is 2 Samuel.
Okay.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verses 4 to 6. Okay? 2 Samuel chapter 12, verses 4 to 6. Let me know when you're there, Mama.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Now a traveler came to the rich man, but the rich man refrained from taking one of his own sheep or cattle to prepare a meal for the traveler who had come to him. Instead, he took the lamb that belonged to the poor man and prepared it for the one who had come to him. Now, I'm giving you a very, very short. Should I read the entire thing, Mama? Should I give
Just maybe one more verse.
maybe one more verse? Okay, so let me add to it a little bit more. Okay. All right, so what the heck is going on here? Okay, all right, so I'm going to read. Okay, I'm going to read from the beginning, okay? I'm going to read 12 verses 1.
Okay.
Bwana sent Nathan to David. When he came to him, he said, "There were two men in a certain town. One was rich and the other poor. The rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle, but the poor man had nothing except one little lamb he had bought. He raised it, and it grew up with him and his children. It shared his food, drank from his cup, and even slept in his arms. It was like a daughter to him." Now, an ewe is actually a female lamb. So it is
Yes.
right? Now a traveler came to the rich man, but the rich man refrained from taking one of his own sheep or cattle to prepare a meal for the traveler who had come to him. Instead, he took the lamb that belonged to the poor man and prepared it for the one who had come to him. David burned with anger against the man and said to Nathan, "As surely as Bwana lives, the man who did this must die. He must pay for that lamb 4 times over, because he did such a thing and had no pity." Okay. Now I want you to go read the rest of the passage, and but just based on this, okay, you know what? I'll read 7 as well, 7 and 8. Okay. Then Nathan said to Dawidi, "You are the man. This is what Bwana the Mungu of Israel says, I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave your master's house to you, and your master's wives into your arms. I gave you all Isolele and Judah. And if all this had been too little, I would have given you even more. So I'm going to end there, family. Okay? So based on this scripture here, the prophet Nathan was sent to King Dawidi to expose him. Okay? So based on this particular passage, and based on what Mama read, which one is which one? Am I a child of creation? Am I a seed of creation or a seed of destruction? Do you have any questions, Mama?
And when you put in your comment, make sure you comment why you feel this way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, family. Yes. So if you don't have any question, Mama, you can read your passage, your next one, your second one.
Okay, my second one is, let me open it. Okay, I'm in Ezekiel.
Okay.
17. Verse 2. And let me see what 17 verse 2 is. Ezekiel 17 verses. The eagle and the vine. The parable of the eagle and the vine.
Okay.
So Ezekiel 17, I'm going to start at verse 2 and read down to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So verse 2, I'll read the whole thing. The word of Baba Mungu came to me, Son of man, set forth an allegory and tell it to the Israelites as a parable. Say unto them, this is what the sovereign Baba Mungu says. A great eagle with powerful wings, long feathers, and full plumage of varied colors came to Lebanon. Taking hold of the top of a cedar, he broke off its topmost shoot and carried it away to the land of the merchants, where he planted it in a city of traders. He took one of the seedlings of the land and put it in fertile soil. He planted it like a willow by the abundant water, and it sprouted and became a low spreading vine. Its branches turned toward him, but its roots remained under it. So it became a vine and produced branches to put out leafy burrows. But there was another great eagle with powerful wings and full plumage. The vine now sent out its roots towards him from the plot where it was planted and stretched out its branches to him of water. And it had been planted in good soil by abundant water, so that it would produce branches, bear fruit, and become a splendid vine.
Ingeta.
Okay. And I have one more.
Oh, no.
It's okay, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna read that. So family, once more, based on what Mama has read, what is she? Is she a seed of creation, or is she a seed of destruction? Please put in a comment. The second passage Okay.
And I won't say.
Exactly.
I won't expound on it.
Yes, I won't either. Now I'm going to read my passage. My passage is this. My passage is Matthew 13, verses 24 to 30. Okay? The parable of the weeds. Let me know when you're there, Mama.
I'm there, yes.
You're there, okay. Isaiah told them another parable. The kingdom of Zulu is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. All right, family? So, based on what I have read, am I a good seed? Am I a seed of creation, or am I a seed of destruction? You got anything to say, Mama?
No.
No. Okay, excellent. So you go to your last passage, Mama.
I will go to my last passage, which is in Ezekiel 19. And let me pull it up. Ezekiel 19 is the lioness and her cubs, the parable of the lioness and her cubs. And that's Ezekiel 19, starting at verse 2.
Somebody likes Ezekiel.
Well, you know, when you type in the parables of the Old Testament, they're very few.
Don't give them clues, man.
I'm not going to give any clues, but I'm just saying parables are very few in the Bible, and they are powerful teaching.
Yes,
parables
that's right.
are powerful teaching.
That's right.
So you don't have that many to choose from, but they still are powerful teaching. And I'm glad that the parables are there, because you really have to dig and understand what he's saying even now to his people.
That's right. That is right. So
I'm going to start, I'm in 19, Ezekiel 19, starting at verse 2.
Okay. I'm there.
Okay, you there? And it says, I'm going to start at verse 1 because 2 is very small. Take up a lament concerning the princes of Israel and say, what a lioness was your mother among the lions. She lay down among them and reared her cubs. She brought up one of her cubs, and he became a strong lion. He learned to tear the prey, and he became a man-eater. The nations heard about him, and he was trapped in their pit. They led him with hooks to the land of Egypt.
Mm.
to the land of Egypt.
Wow. That's pretty
Powerful, huh?
pretty deep. Yeah. It says so much.
It's saying so much.
Yeah, a lot of scriptures came to mind when you just read that. Excellent,
Yes.
family. Excellent.
He teared them and devastate. Okay, here we go. He broke down their strongholds and devastated their towns. He laid the land and all that were in it were terrified by his roaring. Then the nations came against him, those from regions and round about. They spread their nets for him, and he was trapped in their pits. And verse 9, and the last one, with hooks they pulled him into a cage and brought him to the king of Babylon. They put him in prison so that his roar was heard no longer in the mountains of Isolele.
Beautiful. Wow. Very deep, very deep, very deep, family. Now, family, based on what Mama has read, is she a seed of creation or a seed of destruction? Come on, guys. Wager, please. Write in the comments. That was your last scripture, right, Mama? Your last scripture?
Yes, that was my last one. Yes.
Okay. All right. My last scripture is, one second. Okay. My last scripture is Genesis 37. And I'm going to read one to 7. Oh no, sorry about that, family. Okay, it's actually it's gonna be 37:5. Okay, let's go from 3 to 9. No, sorry about that. 1 second. Yeah, 3 to 8. Okay, let's make it simple. 3 to 8. Let me know when you're there, Mama.
Genesis 37, correct?
That's correct. 37, 3 to 8. And family, you can read the whole entire passage if you want, but I'm just going to read from 3 to 8. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Isolele loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he had made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brother said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Would you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he has said. I'm gonna continue reading, family. Sorry about that. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream. And this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come down? Actually come and bow down to, come down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So I'm going to stop there, family. Okay. So what I've just read, family, you wanna add anything, Mama?
No, it's a powerful vision, and sometimes our dreams are far off. The prophecy was far off, and he was a baby having this dream.
Yeah, it's very, listen. It was a disturbing dream, right?
Yes.
So family, based on what I've just read, am I a seed of creation or am I a seed of destruction? Okay, Mama and I, we both picked scriptures that, somewhat fit our personality. Okay. Now, I'm going to explain this. Maybe I shouldn't. Should I explain? Should I give him a clue? Mama?
Yes. Give him a clue, because this is the first round, time out.
All right. Okay. All right. That's true. Now, family, we all have the potential to do good, and we all have the potential to do wickedness. Okay? It is called agency. God gave us free will. We all have the potential to do good, and we all have the potential to do wickedness. And the game is completed. Now it's up to you, family, to figure out which one of us is a child of creation, which one of us is a child of destruction, based on the passages we presented to you.
Yes.
Okay, Mama, anything to add?
This is a very, very good game. It's a very good game for us as a community to get into the scriptures and really find out what the answers are and your opinion and why you feel that this answer is. So we were made in his image, and in the image of him we have a will. And he never overrides our will, because he tells us to choose ye this day. So when Baba Mungo teaches his children, we're his children, he teaches us the principles, not only the principles of ourselves and him, but the principles of life, the principles of nature, the principles of the four elements, the principles of the wind, the fire. He teaches us as a father, a natural father teaches his children, he teaches us. And then once he teaches us, we're obligated to be like our father, because he's teaching us. He's teaching us that the things that we have control over on this planet.
That's right. So family, that concludes today's Narrowcast. And the next Narrowcast, the title of the next Narrowcast is going to be called Spiritual Visitations. And on that Narrowcast, we're going to reveal which one of us is either the seed of creation or the seed of destruction. So with that, Mama, do you have any final words?
This was a good Narrowcast, a good time to spend with one another, searching the scriptures, so that we can rightly divide the word of truth. Rightly dividing the word of truth. And I think it takes all of us coming together as his children and seeking truth and seeking truth from him. So I really enjoyed myself this evening, and I'm looking forward to many more games that we can plunder through the scriptures and find out who we are as Bantus and what we possess like our Father. Because what we see our Father do, we also can do.
Hallelujah. Ingata. Family, I pray that Baba Mungu will bless you every step. May Baba Mungu bless all your ventures. May Baba Mungu bless your home. May Baba Mungu bless you and remove you from any deception, any illusion. May you praise Baba Mungu in truth and in light. Ingeta.
Ingeta.